Welcome back from that break. We have our guest in the studio, Mudashiru Shitu. Good morning. It's good to have you, Mudashiru.
It's good to have you too.
Okay, all right. Let's look at Nigeria Professional Football League, right?
Yeah.
Dive straight into it. And we'll look at the games played on just yesterday, on Wednesday. Rangers, of course, had to go to Lobby to get a point, which is really a cool one. I was telling someone that, look, these guys were going to dent that record. They don't concede goals at home, fine. But then they had to do this, and it was Israel Abia. I mean, he scored his 8th goal of the season, and that was 43rd minute. And of course, the home side had to equalize. Samuel Matthias equalized for Lobby Stars. He had to come from a goal down. But then they had to draw that game. That was just 2 minutes later. So no top spot for Lobby Stars right now. Plateau United remain top. Then the game in Lagos.
Hanging on.
Hanging on, yeah. Right. Still hanging on. But then they got a point. The same points with the Plateau United. But then Plateau United top based on goal difference. The game in Lagos, MFM and Enyimba, you know, anytime Enyimba comes here, somehow they know how to get a point away from here. And of course, it wasn't different this time around. 3 points. Abdurrahman Bashir, 73rd minute.
I don't know if Wilfred Morning is listening, but I need to give him credit because it was on our show yesterday and he said it. That Enyimba always know how to get the results against MFM. But were you surprised?
No, not so surprised, especially what they did in the CAF Confederation, 5-2 sparkling of
away from home, and they are back here playing another game away from home again.
So it's a very, very good one. We expected Victor, who was substituted in the diamond of the game, was unable to do what he did in the CAF Confederation. He scored a brace, you understand? But that substitution was what made it different. The person that actually came in for him was the one that made the assist in that goal that we saw, Bashir, who also scored in that Confederation Cup. So for Fatai Osho, it's a very fantastic one. A lot of people, myself, couldn't really give him so much when they said he should take fully charge. But he's doing so well, and we expect him to do that. For Enyimba, it's still going to be more games for them. Just play 13 games, a little bit out of the relegation zone. So they have like 4 games with same thing with Rangers. So if they could win away with the remaining games and win, they would probably be seeing them mid-tables.
16th position now.
Yeah, 16th. We can probably put with 4 games to go. We'll probably see them mid position if they win all their games. But it's a very good one, unlike Rangers, who were able to actually are expecting them to get that 3 points from there. But they're still in the relegation zone. 13 games played so far. We expect them to also go away because we don't actually see these guys in that zone. They don't belong to that zone anytime of the season, whether last season or thereabout. So we expect to see Enyimba coming out as the season goes on, and also Rangers.
Let's not leave MFM out of it. Before we listen to take reactions from the coaches, from the MFM perspective, should there be any issues? Or should people complain that Enyimba came to Lagos and beat them with all the issues that MFM has had recently? I mean, should it worry anybody? Should there be sleepless nights?
Yeah, there should be sleepless nights because, you know, when you're used to winning at home, you understand? And it's not as if he's not lost there, but he doesn't come out and all that. And there's kind of rivalry, perhaps, you understand? Because Enyimba comes with our fans because of that people here, you understand? So it's not going to be very interesting. And it's not as if they lost first half. The goal came in the 79th minute. Yeah. So it was supposed to be a draw, you understand, with open mind. And the substitution Fatai Osho did what made the difference. So there should be, you understand, why are we going to lose at home to Enyimba? Not as if they have the CAF Champions League in that trophy or anything, that not anything near to Enyimba. But it's home. Nobody want to lose at home. But they did. I'm sure that's one of the reasons. And perhaps a lot of people have been glamoring for, we want Fidelis, Lechuku back, we want all that, you understand? Because Fidelis, perhaps, I'm not saying he hasn't lost again at Enyimba, but, you know, we forget easily that, you understand, what we are presently, you just have to take time for Tony Bullius to really get to his bearing.
But if you take a look at the results so far, it's been really awful. No win in the last 4 games. I mean, when you're looking at that, you're asking yourself what's happening to MFM. And of course, match day 19, they're going to be having who? Kano Pillars. I mean, just look at the teams they faced back-to-back. Plateau, Enyimba, and now Kano Pillars.
Tests.
I mean, that's a tough test for these teams. So how can they really get out of this? Because we're hearing the rumor that, hey, there's already fire on the mountain, Coach Bolus and all, because they're expecting him to do more. when you're facing bigger teams like this who recruited during the off-season, while they were recruiting, I mean, top stars and top players, MFM had to deal with, youth. That's their system, the system where they had to bring in some relatively unknown players. Then after 2 or 3 seasons, or 2 seasons, the players are leaving. You have to bring in another new set of players again.
I think it has to be patient. Let's not forget that name is Fire on the Mountain. So that's the name of a club. So I'm sure they're used to fires on the mountain. They've actually gone through this process in the first time. Let's not forget they came in with Ikorodu United. Where's Ikorodu United? Nowhere to be found. I understand. And this is just to show that you're actually settling in. Those period of certainty has really gone back. And this is the time to give Tony Bullis a little bit of opportunity, you understand? And let's don't, a little bit of time. Let's don't start comparing with what Fidelis Electrical has done with them. So with the buy-in and player leaving to other clubs, it still has to be one of the reasons why they're not getting their bearing. Okay. But I believe time. And if it's not time, they think they're impatient. Tony Bullis, who knows, a very experienced coach in the league, perhaps somebody else should really come in. But it's just time that it's just a difference.
All right.
Okay, they should give him time.
They should give him time.
Don't put him under pressure.
No, at all.
No pressure.
At
Okay,
all.
All right.
Electrical was giving, he was there.
He was giving time. I'm just looking
time.
at, when you have a club that used to winning, they don't go on a run like this. Somehow they try to go away from home, grind a result, and come back. And you're not looking at their position, which is...
Let me add to this. Let's not forget the first season. So second season, MFM almost got relegated.
Yeah.
It has to do with a game in Atlanta, thereabouts. Yeah. They almost got relegated. So let's don't forget this is not the worst period of their...
Yeah, of course it's not. Position is not so bad. Yeah.
All right,
okay.
Let's take some reactions from the managers. Let's start with Fatai Osho, the coach who came out on top on the day that later on we'll listen to the MFM manager. But let's start by listening to the Enyimba coach, Fatai Osho.
We are so happy. We've lost a lot of points at home. And for us to get back to contention, we need to get this point on the road. And that's something we've been preaching to the players for a long time. Over 2 years, Enyimba has not won on the road. We need to change that. This has really helped us. The psyche is completely different now. A complete orientation of the mindset of those players. And you can see what is happening now. Working at Enyimba is a big advantage to any coach. Because there they let you realize you have to win every now and then. Your winning mentality comes up. That's something I've gained in Enyimba. In the first half, we had the chance to put this MFM team away. And we are not doing that. And you can only live to regret that. If you have your chances, you take it. You don't take it, you get punished along the line. So we know what happened in Newi, where we played so well. At the end of the day, we considered through ship and we're out. We couldn't get any point there. So we don't want a repeat of that. That's why I have to make it abundantly clear to them. They have to confer this chance because we are where we are not supposed to be. For years, Enyimba has never found itself at relegation, no matter the number of standing matches. It's happening now. We have to change the course of the team.
All right, you expect him to be praising himself for a job well done, but it's quick to remind us we're happy we won. It should have been more than a goal, and Enyimba has never been in this situation, no matter the outstanding matches.
16th position, remember?
Yeah,
16
outstanding matches.
After 13 games, they have how many
he was
points?
actually
18.
articulate with his speeches, which is I'm not going to any jab to any of them. This is not what we get often. And this is somebody that I've started, I could call him like a Wiku coach. We know where he started from NNL and all that. I became assistant and all that. And this is just like the first time he's going to undo an MPFS. So a good one for Fatai Osho. And I'm sure these are one of the bright lights. Because if you want to know that some of these old coaches are disappearing, and these are the first new set of generations, new coaches
that we're seeing. All right. Let's spare it up for Enyimba again in the CAF Confederation Cup. They'll be up against Oroya of Guinea. Of course, this CAF Confederation Cup is a title that Enyimba wants to win because they've not won it. They've won the CAF Champions League,
twice,
which people consider to be a more prestigious tournament. But of course, they won this title in their trophy cabinet. So if you're going to win this tournament and you're in the quarterfinals, you're going to play probably six more matches. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Enyimba, their chances against the team from Guinea?
Yeah, it's so slim, but it's nothing is impossible. Looking at our present form, Oroya is one of the teams that actually did so well in the group stage. I looked at other teams and I saw that they were one of the groups that actually did well against. Also, one other team we mentioned is Pyramid of Egypt. They also did well. But I expect Enyimba to actually home and away to actually at least get a win. What happens is the 1st of March is going to be the first game, and I'm sure they are going to be at home or away. Regardless the case may be, I want Eimba to actually win that. But it's going to be tough. Even if there's Escape Oroya, they have
Pyramids of Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt to play in the semi-final. So, but we also look at it, no African, no Nigerian side from recent history has won the CAF Confederation. Who came close was in 2005.
Sunshine came close at some point, even in more recent times.
More recent times came close. So I think it's going to be a very, very tough one. But Fatai Osho has actually proved his mark that they can do that. Right. But Imba wants more than that. You understand? So I expect them to win.
All right. So some of the fixtures you have right there on your screen. That's it. Sanako up against Pyramids. A lot of people talking about Pyramids, El Nassar up against Sana Gadera, the team that did so well too. They were in the Eagles group. You have Al Masri up against RS Bekane. That's the quarter-final pairing in the CAF Confederation Cup. So Eimba now know their opponent. So let's leave it at that.
March 1st will be the first game, right? Okay. They have some time to actually prepare for this and scout their opponents if they can do that.
Yeah. All right. So it's time to talk about the Olympics.
Yes, we're counting down to it. And, of course, basketball is going to get our focus again today. But then countdown to the Olympics. How many days now? I mean, 169 days to the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. And you're asking yourself, what are we doing? Well, yes, I know what we're doing. The Paralympics, we talked about them earlier. I mean, what they're doing in Abuja, the World Cup, is also part of qualifiers for the Tokyo 2020. And also, not just that, but also put some of the athletes who have qualified in good shape ahead of the Olympics. But then basketball, of course, the men, they already have the Olympic tickets, courtesy of the fact that they were the best team that finished at the World Cup from Africa. But then for the ladies, the battle is going to start today, and it's going to be against Mozambique. And then everyone has been asking this big question about the girls. Can they not? Some coaches have been saying that know how to pick your battle. Picking your battle simply means, take a look at the USA. They've got nothing to lose because they already have a ticket to the Olympics already. Then take a look at Serbia, home advantage, you're in Belgrade and all that. Then take a look at Mozambique, away from home, an African team. So why not take that seriously and win it and see what happens after that?
Yeah, my issue is that one of the most difficult qualifying stage of the World Cup is this...
basketball.
Basketball. It's very, very tough because you're having the best of the best in all that continent coming. That's the second best, the third best coming together to actually win this. The last time they were in the Olympics was in Athens. And if they can't get to the Olympics this time around, I pray they should get to. But the fact still remains that it's going to be tough. Who are they playing with against Serbia and Mozambique? What does Otis have in place for us? He has been trying as much as possible to give us that ticket, but it doesn't come so easy like that. So it's going to be a very, very tough one. If perhaps it's as equal to me as even the game in the Olympics itself. Very, 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 very difficult. And, you know, it's also the same thing with the guys. Before when the guys went to London 2012 for the first time, during this stage, using the Olympic qualifiers stage, which is was tedious. So to me, I think nothing should write them aside, regardless to whether they get it or not. But as a Nigerian, we wish Otis could learn and see what the other years ahead of the other opponent, Mozambique and other Serbia. I think the Americans are also going to be somebody who obviously we're already losing hope anyway because we know they own this game. But of course, I don't. They own the game. No doubt about it. It's like you playing table tennis with a Chinese person.
They own the game.
You can't do anything about it. But I think Otis to actually top up is all he has been doing is reform with this, and that is going to be like the icing cake of what he has been doing. So I wish him the best.
All the best. Okay, let's hear from coaches. I mean, one of them was coach the national team before, Scott Nanja, and also Latif Erin Folami happens to be the coach of First Bank Women's Basketball Club. What they're saying and what the D-Tigers need to do to get the tickets to the Olympics?
It will be very, very difficult, you understand, but it's not impossible, you understand. I can use the example of the male. They did it some years back. Nobody gave them a chance. They did it. They played against European teams. Like, I think it was Lithuania was inside the group also. They came back and won. But the only reason why I'm having a little doubt is because of the preparation. You understand? I don't know how they actually prepare. We just heard that they're meeting in Serbia one way or another. We have the talent, but it's much more than talent. You understand? It's much more than talent. You can have the talent, you don't work, you lose it. So if we don't work together, train hard, have a certain game plan, sure, you understand? We can't just go to a team sports with individual. That means that we're disrespecting the other teams that really work hard and they want it badly. But I pray that you understand the individual skills will just overwhelm the other teams, because like I said, we have too much talent to just go out there and not be able to do well.
We'll be able to qualify depending on how who they pick to get serious with. Obviously, if you get serious with USA, you might get injuries and get worked up playing that team. So it better we choose those that we know that we'll be able to fight to win a game. And I think we have two of them, though one also have an advantage because they are playing home now. So we have one to say, okay, no matter what, we have to beat Mozambique.
So choose your battle. I love what Eric Folami said about, we are taking other teams for granted. Teams, somehow, they know how to prepare very well. And, of course, they go there, they get a result. But we just, okay, we have the talent. Come on, the girls can come together in 1 week. Boom, we get the ticket. But then it's not so easy anymore. I hope we'll put more effort. Talent, most times, hard work beats talent when talents will work harder. And that's the message these coaches are sending to the girls. Hopefully, they choose their battle well. Win against Mozambique. It's going to be 5 p.m. today, so we'll watch and see if the girls can win that. After winning that, we know that the ticket is already in the bag. Okay. Let's leave them and talk about the guys, of course. They also are preparing now. Just yesterday, we broke the news that they've got a new coach, Mike Brown. I mean, you're having such a top coach, having to coach the D Tigers. And everyone was saying, why is MBBF not releasing official, press release announcing it, instead of we getting it from ESPN and other sources?
To be fair to them, I got a release from them yesterday later on.
That was yesterday, yes, but then we broke the news earlier in the morning, Already, I mean, we've talked about it and everything and all that, okay. And of course, the president had to say, okay, guys, you guys should just, let's just announce this formally. And they had to, talk about it and say, okay, yes, it's official. We have a new coach. But then the Alex Nwora will still be part of the coaching crew. Let's listen to Musa Kida. We caught up with him yesterday talking about, why they had to go for Mike Brown and the kind of record they want to set when they get to the Olympics.
Different levels of play. And technical, I'll put it in this case, competence are required for different levels of tournaments and games. So Alex Nwora, our head coach, all through the last 2 years, has had a very excellent performance. I mean, there is no doubt about it. He took us through the Afro basket tournaments that we have had. He was the head coach that took us last year to FIBA World Cup in China. And the teams really performed very, very well. And then here, we're really talking about the Olympics. The Olympics is the highest grade of competition that you can find in the world. And as such, we believe that it requires further an addition of further technical competence, that I would say, on the bench. Having said that, the choice of Mike Brown is very obvious. We did interview and discuss with a few coaches before landing on Mike Brown. And we actually chose Mike Brown simply because he's somebody who has shown that he's very passionate for the development of the game, as distant as Nigeria is from the NBA. He's also very conversant with African basketball. He has participated and had stints in the Basketball Without Borders and all that. So he's somebody who has shown very good interest or keen interest in the development of basketball. And that's the mutual attraction that we have with him.